Jesus. So, probably most of you guys have heard or probably know in general that, well, right now, wargaming is down in North America. It is completely down, and that doesn't matter whether you're playing warships or you're playing tanks. They are down. They're saying their power is out. Well, I know personally that this went down for warships about midnight central last night. That's when we noticed it. I was actually in the middle of a game. I got out, and that's when I was greeted with this lovely message right here, guys. So, this message right here is what I got. Wow. Pretty freaking incredible. To be honest, I don't know what's going on here. Why it's down? They're saying it's a power outage, but there's some people saying that this is a denial of service attack. So, yeah, wow. Ha. Oh. Well, Flymo's not talking about it, but I'm surprised he's nearly not. We probably will get some people talking about this. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Please join my stream. I mean, wow. You know, talking about a dumpster fire. This is definitely a dumpster fire. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this one. I mean, here's the problem, and I work in IT. So if you guys know me, I work in IT. I do this for a living. If you are down for this amount of time for 8 hours, going on 9 hours, you got a major problem on your hands. This is not little. Only time I've seen these kind of outages is when there's a major circuit outage in an area or somebody does a fiber cut. Wow. But for this to take out both these servers is, well, it's kind of disturbing, right? So what's going on here? Is it their authentication servers? But it's their content. Their website's down too. This is not just the game. This is their website in the NA is completely down. So evidently these are going through the same servers, which is kind of surprising and it's also scary at the same time. I mean, we are basically talking about these things being completely down. Wow, wow. So, wow. So, so yeah. So anyway, we'll just go here. I'll open up the down detector here, guys, and kind of show you guys what we have going on right now. So this is the amount. This was around midnight when all this happened. Um, as you can see, the first reports came in at about 11:47. So this is nothing new. So everybody out there that thinks that this is something new, this is not. And looks like probably based on the time because there wasn't as many people online. And then as people in the United States started waking up, here we go. So this is not does not mean that this is online. I had some people tell me, "Oh, there's 300 people online." Well, 300 people for an NA server is not a lot of people. People, I mean, 300 people is nothing. That is nothing, absolutely nothing. So this is a major thing. Um, and evidently, like I said, again, this is affecting tanks in the same way. So my guess is that whatever this is, is happened the same time for tanks. Wow. I'm godsmacked. I really am. So, and you can see some of the comments here, some of the new comments. So people are really starting to think this is a denial of service attack. And probably I agree with them. Because either it's a denial of service attack or Wargaming was stupid and put their eggs in one basket and their power is out in that data center like they're saying. And this is, it was just poor planning. And honestly, if anybody in Wargaming is listening to this, you need to fire your IT staff. I mean, if they seriously did this and put all your eggs in one basket, then they need to be fired. I mean, this is the kind of thing that people in IT always talk about. This is why we have redundancy, because if one side goes down or there's a major circuit outage, you can just always flip over to your other sites. This is why redundancy is always stressed by IT. If you're serious in IT, this is what you do, right? I mean, I do this for a living. So yeah, this is a problem. So yeah, man, I am just absolutely godsmacked. Hmm. I have no words for this. I don't know, guys. I do not have words for this. I just wonder. I wonder if it's other games they have. I wonder if it's any of this. Like, if Warplanes is having this problem. So let me just flip over here. Oh well. So it can actually install it. But question is Warplanes down? Is this an NA? Is the whole NA down? Wow, I'm I am godsmacked. I really am. I am absolutely godsmacked. Jesus, man. I'm fucking just beside myself right now. This is just ridiculous. So going back onto this, like I said again in IT, having this is the kind of shit right here that people will remember. Okay, having an outage is one thing. Okay, but be transparent about it, because transparency will get you a lot further than basically making up some lie. If it's not a power outage, and honestly, I don't think what I know of Wargaming is they are not stupid enough. Their IT staff is not stupid enough to put all their eggs in one basket, so that when a power outage takes everything out, it's a single point of failure. And in Warshups, we stress on that is not having single points of failure, is having redundancy and everything. That's from our firewalls to our switches to our servers to the ISPs. All of that stuff is set up in such a way that if somebody has a problem, guess what? We're not down. And right now, we're hard down. So, I don't know. This is going to be one of those things that we're going to have to figure out. Who knows when they're going to get this back up? It may be down for quite some time. And if they're having a denial of service attack, then they really need to seriously look at their security protocols. There is ways to stop denial of service. It's you implement, Cloudflare. They have plenty of tools to stop denial of service attacks. So yeah, and it's weird that the NA is the one that targeted. So why not just target all of them? Why not target the EU? Why not target Asia? Why not target all the rest of them? What's so special right now? So yeah, all right. Well, I'm just beside myself. I really, truly am. And you see here that it's definitely a lot more people are online now. You're getting more. Well, see, I'm wondering these guys here. So how are they connected? Right? He's a contributor for tanks. He's in A. So how in the fuck is he in the game? How is he in the game? I would like to know that. Seriously, guys, how in the fuck is this guy in the game? Because right now, nobody can get in at all. If you're in warships or you're in tanks, you're fucked right now. There is nothing. So, yeah, he's in the game. So, and unless he's in the EU server, unless he's like joined up and got on the EU server. And honestly, that's the thing about it. That's another. Why not just open this up so that these sync between the servers? Especially when you have stupid ass dumpster fire outages like this. Why? Why? So, I don't know. I do not know. I don't. I'm just beside myself. So, yeah, this is gonna be one of those. I think it's just gonna be one of those days. Um, it would not surprise me if this goes all day. I would be perfectly honest with you. If this doesn't go all day, I'll be surprised. I mean, this is just a failure of massive proportions. I mean, from an IT perspective, I would be wanting somebody's resignation. This shit right here, I would want somebody's resignation. Whoever the fuck it is needs to get their shit together. Because unless I believe me, I know how people think. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from IT people because I'm IT. I understand this. I know what I'm talking about because I do this for a living. And to have this happen, okay, it's not like you don't know it's coming. Because usually they experiment before. And this is an IT failure. I mean, either way you go, it's an IT failure. So either they had power problems, which is on their facilities, which, why are they having power problems? There's not any major power outages reported in the United States. So what's the problem? Okay. Or in which case their IT failed because they don't have redundancy. They need redundancy in other data centers. They need to be able to fail that stuff over. So there's the first one. Okay. If it's a denial of service attack, then their IT security failed because there's easy enough things out there that they can put out front to stop denial of service. So this is a failure on that front. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really do not know what to make of this. So I don't know what to think about this. I really am just wow. So anyway, hopefully maybe anybody has some insight on what they think, how long this is going to last. Right? I mean, we've right now at this point we are now in the 9th hour of this being down. So, like I said, the failure is just it's squarely on their IT, and definitely for the reasons that I laid out. Because, like I said, if it's a power outage like they're claiming, then it's a failure of them not having redundancy. And when we build things in IT, we build redundancy, unless somebody made the stupid decision otherwise not to, which it happens. Let's be honest, it does happen. Um, they make companies sometimes make bad decisions because because it affects their bottom line, right? It costs money to have redundancy because it's extra equipment, it's the facilities costs in the data centers, it is all of this, and it takes people and manpower to maintain that. So I get it. But if you are a company that is this exposed, okay, if you're a company like Wargaming, right, and they've got servers all over, the world, this is not good PR. This is not the kind of thing that brings you new subscribers. And it makes you look incompetent and with your pants down if you have shit like this happening. Let's just be honest, okay? And we'll sit here and watch this. You can. So right now we're peaking out about 210 reports, roughly. So, yeah. But on the other side of the coin is this is denial of service, which again I don't know. That's I'm going to be perfectly clear right there. I don't know what caused this. We probably won't know, and they probably, if they are hiding it, we probably will never know. But it's clear that there's something majorly wrong. And if it's denial of service, this is also an IT failure. It's an IT failure from a security standpoint because, like I said, there are plenty of things out there because denial of service is not new. It's been known in the IT industry for some time. Okay. And a lot of denial of service providers, they insulate you by basically being a proxy. They set out on the front end and they see this stuff coming and then they divert. Okay, so that's how denial of service works. They try to flood requests to basically shut your service down. And denial of service providers, what they do is they set out front like a shield. Okay, but this shield routes, so they kind of take the brunt, but then they shift your traffic to another frame, and then you're back up. So you might be down for a few minutes, and then you're back up. You're not down for hours. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Hey, chick. So, yeah, I'm just talking about the dumpster fire that is Wargaming right now. Just giving my perspective on it. So right now, tanks on it, I'm sure as you know, World of Warships, World of Tanks are both down in the NA. And I was just talking about this from an IP perspective since I work in IT for my day job. Yeah, this is the problem with Wargaming. This is a failure. So they're saying it's a power outage, okay? And so let's analyze that for just a second. If it's a power outage, then why don't they have redundancy? I work in IT, so that's one thing that IT does. We have redundancy in everything. Okay, we have redundancy in our firewalls. We have redundancy on our ISPs coming into the buildings. We usually have redundancy in multiple data centers. So if this is a power outage they're claiming, then this is a failure on their IT staff because they should have redundancy. They just fail this over to another data center and they're ready to go. So that's part of my problem. The other part of this is that this is the denial of service, which, you know, if you look at the down detector, you can see that this has been going on for quite some time. This has been going on since about midnight last night. So, oh yeah, there's somebody going to get fired. That's for sure. You know, we're talking the other side of this is denial of service attack. Okay, like they are saying, there are plenty of things out there, plenty of providers that provide denial of service, like Cloudflare. Okay, and Cloudflare basically acts like a shield. So they set out front. They kind of are the first line of your traffic coming into your servers or your websites or whatever the case may be. And then when they detect a denial of service, they basically shield that attack. They divert the traffic down another lane, and that traffic gets through. Within minutes, you're back up. And they've been successfully doing it. So what happened here? Why does Wargaming not have that? And especially specifically, why in the NA? It's mind-boggling. So I'm looking at this morning, and you can see, there it is. It's down. And of course, you know, so is, well, maybe tanks. Maybe tanks is loaded. We'll see. We'll see if tank loads. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You know, and the magnitude of this is that this is now 9 hours in, right? We are 9 hours into this. Having it down for an hour or two, okay, yeah, things happen. But having it down for 9 hours, wow. Again, I don't know exactly what happened, and probably we'll never know. But this is one of those things that comes up, right? If they had an internal facility problem, and that's not saying, and that's probably, it does happen. But again, it's negated by having failover. And at 9 hours, if you have failover and you haven't failed over, then you're also failing, because that's why you have redundancy, is for these things like this. It doesn't have to be a natural disaster for you to fail over. So this is the kind of things that just get attention. And I guarantee you, as this drags on, we're going to see a lot more of it. You can count on it. Yeah, tanks might actually be trying to come up. It's surprisingly. So we actually, so Chick, you might actually have your stream this morning. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the thing about this is, I look at this down detector, right? And so you see this little dip, right? Uh, this is not because it was up. This is because it's 4 in the morning. People are asleep, and I think as the outage happened, people just went to sleep and said, "Okay, well, I'll come back in the morning, log back in, and see if things are up." And then, of course, everything's still down. And then as people woke up on the Eastern time zone, the Central time zone, Mountain and Pacific, this is climbed back up. So, yeah. Yeah. So, let's see. I am going to I'm going to sit in here in my Discord. I'm going to be in the general chat. So, yeah, if you guys join my Discord server and just flip over there to the general chat and want to talk about it, yeah, just come on over. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, because trust me, this is pretty bad. I don't know, Chick. I mean, have you in all the time you've been playing, have you ever seen an outage going this long yet? I mean, have you seen an outage going for 9 hours yet, like this? I can't remember a thing in my. Yeah, this is new. Usually, if it's down, I mean, I think the last time it was down was something like 4 or 5 hours, and it was a patch problem that they had. So, as we know, patches, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Well, and this doesn't bode well, right? Because here's the other thing. Let me frame this in here. So, as a lot of you guys know, COTS is coming, right? We have the qualifiers on Sunday. Um, and of course, there are, like myself and several others, we're playing in COTS. So I don't know. Wow, and even like WoW Pros is having a pro. Ooh, interesting. Maybe it's just a bad page. Let me try this. So as you guys know, COTS is coming. So the first qualifiers are going to start at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And you're going to have, all these teams starting up, right? And so it's going to be very interesting if this kind of brought to light something is, if their servers are down, oh, it's King of the Sea. So King of the Sea has been a big tournament. This is the 12th iteration of it. They have tournament. It's basically an international tournament. You have your qualifiers, semifinals, and then the regionals, which all the teams from from EU, Asia, NA, all those guys come into one big tournament from basically the victors of the regionals come in to play in the international semifinals and the finals. And right now there's a prize of $30,000 in prizes on this thing, with the number one team getting a cash prize of $15,000. So this the timing couldn't have been worse for this. Yeah, that is definitely some big money. The timing on this couldn't have been worse. Being so close to COTS, and being down for 9 hours. yeah, that's going to cause a lot of concern, because if this is denial of service, then wow, that's not good. That does not bode well for their tournament, because if basically whoever it is could just denial of service the tournament, and guess what? Nobody can log in. We're all screwed. Crazy. So some of the teams being represented, they only allow 104 for the NA. There's already 114 teams, so I think some of these teams didn't get in the front door, because you have to register within a certain amount of time in order to be able to get in. So, yeah. And of course, our team, I wanted to kick Trick in the butt for this one. Yeah, that's kind of what we're hoping. Honestly, I doubt if it is a problem other than power that they're going to, come clean on it. But honestly, I think, it couldn't get any worse. They would probably settle some people down if they actually came clean and told us what was going on. And I realize it's probably bad PR on their side. They don't want that bad PR, but right now the PR is pretty bad anyway. Exactly. So this is going to be like the X-Files. We're going to be trying to dig for the truth. So, I wonder too, Chick. So think about this. If this is down for these two, what about these other ones? What about World of Warplanes? NA. What about their Steel Division? So, like I said, this kind of becomes, are they incompetent because they put all their eggs in one basket and didn't have redundancy, or are they not prepared for a attack that happened to them? Yeah, I agree with you, Chick. I think they are all down. I think this is from the NA side. It's complete. They're just down hard. It's crazy. Yeah, and a lot of people are leaning toward that. So when I look at this, they're talking about this now. Yeah, so you get stuff like this. Okay, so he's saying it could be the main cluster had a backup, and outlying relay hubs knocked out first. Usually the data center has a few hours of power or days worth. Well, I can tell you, I work in a data center. There's diesel generators, right? We have the ability to keep the data center if it's power outage. Specifically, even the racks, they prioritize power in the data center over everything else. So right there, I can tell you that if it's a decent IT staff and they know what they're doing, that's not going to happen. They're going to keep power in there. Okay, so it lends more to that could be something internal that's happened. You know, maybe there was an HVAC problem and it leaked on the servers, right? And knocked out internal power, right? It's internal. The utility power is still there, but something with the ATS switches or UPSs or something has knocked the power out. But again, goes back to what I was saying before, is if they have redundant data centers, they have redundant circuits and all that stuff like that, they just fail over to a data center. And as big as Wargaming is, there's no reason why they shouldn't have redundancy. So he's saying a few hours of power, days worth of critical operations reserve. The priority is saving and safe shutdown everything as fast. No, their priority is getting the servers back up. I mean, they're in the. Hey, Iron. So here's what's going on. If you haven't caught up, World of Warships and World of Tanks are completely down. They have been down since midnight last night, Central Time, and it's still down. And so what I'm basically talking about is, they're saying it's a power outage, and so I work in IT. I do that for a living, and so it's a failure, right? And I'll explain why that. So if it is a power outage, whether it's utility power, whether their generator, whatever the case may be, right? Or if it's an internal power problem. In IT, we always build redundancy, right? We stress redundancy. If you're worth your salt in IT, we stress redundancy. We have multiple data centers. We have multiple circuits coming into those data centers. We have multiple firewalls for failover. All that stuff. And the problem with that is it's either one of two things. So they don't have redundancy, which means they put their eggs in one basket. So that's a failure right there. Okay. The other side of this coin is that if they do have multiple data centers, then what's the problem? Why don't they fail over? Because like I said, I mean, Wargaming is big enough. They should have redundancy. They should have multiple data centers. So yeah, I don't know what to say about it. The other side is that some people are saying this is a denial of service attack. Exactly, Aaron. Exactly. They stress of that, and that's the reason that they endure, right? The other side is this is a denial of service attack. There is plenty of providers that provide denial of service protection, right? And they act as shields. They basically they sort of act as a proxy to your traffic coming in, and if they detect something that's denial of service, what they do is they basically block that. They reroute your traffic. And, hey, chick, yeah, enjoy it. Take your rest. Hopefully, maybe this will get resolved quickly, and we can see you on stream. But if this is a denial of service, if they detect that, they reroute your traffic, and within minutes you're back up and running. So again, this kind of goes back to their IT people. Is if they're worth their salt, they're recommending this kind of things, because I mean, honestly, they are a big target, and they have to realize that they're going to have bad actors, and that's one of the things that we always kind of stress in IT is having this kind of stuff in place. So yeah, I'm beside myself. And like I said, I think too. Iron is, I can't remember this, and me and Chick were talking about this. I can't remember in my time of playing World of Warships and tanks having an outage down this long. I mean, right now we are 9.5 hours into this. I don't think I've ever seen one this long. So, and the worst part of this is, um, King of the Sea is on Sunday. So the qualifiers for this international tournament start on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So, wow, um, that's ominous. Having this kind of outage on the cusp of a major tournament. Yeah, it's kind of nuts, to be honest. Um, I'm kind of, and and there's the other thing too, Aaron. You know this, as you dabbled in it. Um, when you have outages like this, it's always, you don't want to give them everything, but you want to be at least as honest as you can, right? You want to say, hey, this is what we're having. We're aware of the issue. We are being attacked, and we're looking into it. It projects. It not only projects the transparency, but also projects that you're aware of the problem and you're working to solve it. And I know in this day and age, it's kind of easy to arm check quarterback that. But at the same time, though, you want to give the confidence that, hey, we know this is going on, we're aware of it, and we're working on it. So, yeah, I'm just shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Exactly, exactly. That's it right there, Aaron. You put the bullet point right on that one, because I mean, let's be honest. If this was just any other company, 9 hours, it's bad. But they're not public, right? They're not as in the public eye. The problem with wargaming and having this many games down is a major, major red flag. It because they are visible. I mean, they are visible to everybody. And having this kind of problem. Oh, look. Oh, we got an update here, guys. Look, look, look. Look at this. At the moment, the NA web portal and server are not available due to serious technical issues in the data center. We are working on the problems right now. In several hours, most players will be able to join the game. We are working to bring the most important services back online first. Some of the game services, news, clan, armory, premium store, may not work. We need additional time to restore them. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Nothing in tanks yet. So, yeah, exactly. You know what? I give them credit for that. So, maybe this is a power outage, and maybe something got fried in the process. But again, the other side of that coin is, again, that's where your redundancy comes in, right? And maybe that's what they're working on. Maybe they did. So give you a little background. So I work in hypervisor, which is all of the VMware VM hosts, right? And one of the things that we do is we do syncs out to our other data centers, right? And um, we always keep that stuff in the sync. And maybe that's what they're doing. They're trying to fail this over. But usually our restore points are within 30 minutes, 30 45 minutes to get those syncs out there, because we're just updating whatever changed. maybe they have a lot of data too. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's great they put that out there finally. Um, it but they're saying right here that if what I'm putting underlying out there is according to preliminary estimates, a full restore will take. So what they're getting, this message came from their IT department. I guarantee it that this is where this came from. They got all this stuff, they kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and then they put this out there, which is really great. I do commend them for that. But honestly, this is a little this would have been great to have this early this morning and had this in there. And trust me, I know this for a fact. It's tough when you're in the middle of something like this that's majorly impacting the company in a particular area. You get pounded by people asking for updates. When is the ETA? When is this going to be back up? And trust me, I understand that. I get that. Um, I deal with that on a daily basis. um, but honestly, it comes down to IT managers kind of getting that from their guys, giving that to upper management, and letting upper management take that and run with it. Okay, so they can get communications out, because that's the most important thing is your customers, right? So you want to make sure that they're taken care of. They get that out and put out statements like this. And this, if they had done this 5 hours earlier, when everybody was pretty much asleep, so as soon as they came in this morning, they saw this. I mean, people will be upset. People will be upset. Hey, brother. Hey, thanks for joining in, Iron. Yeah, I think I know, I'm pretty sure I followed you, but I'll give you, I'll definitely, if anybody else hopefully comes in, I'll give you a shout out too, man. But yeah, good luck with your stream, brother. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hey, I appreciate it, Iron. Yeah, I'll kick over there as soon as you let me know when you get your stream up. I'll go ahead and pop in there. I'll just lurk on yours too. So. Hey, anytime, man. Anytime. Glad to do it. Glad to do it. There we go. Oh yeah, by the way, brother, just love the charity stream, man. Please let me know however I can help support that charity, man. That's a great charity. So yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please go out there and give Chick. So let me give her. We'll just do a shout out here really quick. Yeah. And definitely give Iron some love too. He's running a charity stream out there, guys. Um, it would be good if you guys give him some support. It's really awesome thing that he's doing. Um, so please give him some love. I always like supporting good streamers that are out there. Um, you know, supporting charities. So so it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So something else is we were talking about this. I wonder if World of and look at this, man. So earlier I was able to see the other games. Look at this. I can't even see these other games yet. So this is something new that has come up. Oh, there it was finally. It finally came up. Wow. So I wonder if World of War, if Warplanes is having problems too. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I wonder. And anybody that plays PS4, can you guys maybe if you got any of this stuff on there, maybe check this out and see if any of this other stuff's down too. I'm suspecting this is global. This is a NA problem across the board. Wow. Okay, so 8 minutes ago, guys, we just got an update from from them. Um, so they have basically apologized for the inconvenience and thank you for your patience and understanding. So they're saying that full restore of this is going to take 1 day. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Mm. Well, guys, we're going to keep going with this until they get something up for us. Maybe we'll get lucky and one of these will be up before long. Crazy. I am yeah. I am still trying to figure this out. So, wow. So really, the question becomes, what are we gonna do? Um, So, Wargaming's response, though, I think, uh, like I said, this is great stuff. I mean, this is stuff that we need to know, and honestly, it will help calm. I mean, there's some people going to rage on it, no matter what. I mean, let's just be honest. It's going to happen. But this would have been better sending this out during the night so that when people came in, this is, they see this and this allays fears. The problem with this is their response was really late to the punch here. Okay? Because we're now almost 10 hours into this and we are still going. And they're saying it's going to be at least a few hours before they can even get basic things up so that maybe we can play. Now all the other stuff's going to be down, the premium shop, which again, they make their money there, right? So that's a money maker for them. That's things they're going to prioritize over everything else to get up. So we're going to pull up this map here. You can kind of see where you can see this is the amount of reports. And like I said, guys, this one got hit first because, again, this was on that time zone. It's on the Eastern time zone, right? Then you got into Central, right, through here, and then Mountain, and then Pacific. So, crazy. I'm just godsmacked. I really am. I'm absolutely godsmacked at this point. I don't even know what to think about this. So. So, yeah, wow, this is crazy. So I'm kind of surprised that this hasn't made it over here to tanks yet. So they've got this announcement up on Warshups, but they have not made this over to tanks yet. And honestly, they need to. Maybe they think it's a black eye. this looks like something, and they're saying the NA portal. So my guess is that they have everything going through this portal for authentication and everything. But nothing in tanks yet. Crazy. By the way, guys, if you have World of Warships and we ever get back to where we can get in, there's some codes out there that you guys can put into your account and get some little bonuses. And I don't think it's much, but hey, every little bit helps, right? So these two codes, you can use them and get some nice little bonuses for warships if you have warships. I don't have any for tanks. I'm trying to work on getting some of those codes for tanks. And there may be some people out there already have that stuff out there, but yeah, it's always a good thing to go. If you have any of those games, use these codes. Believe me, every little bit helps. Just having this stuff out there. So. Sorry guys, I've got devices coming on my network. Yeah, I'm blocking here. There we go. Yeah, from an IT perspective, this is interesting. So, man, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. It's, they are coming clean. The problem is that, like I said, I don't know how their portal works. But again, it's they need to have, they should, the failover should be there, right? If something goes down, something has an issue, have failover so that your stuff is not down. And maybe that's what they're working on. Maybe that they had this, and then now they're okay. Now we're deep in the shit, and we're just gonna have to start working to restore the services somewhere else. I don't know. So yeah, guys. It's gonna be one of those things. I think that's gonna that Wargaming hopefully maybe will learn from this. But I mean, from an IT perspective, this is a major screw up. If you're just joining right now, World of Tanks, World of Warships, and possibly other things in their NA for the North America are completely down. This is not just World of Warships. This is World of Tanks, maybe World of Warplanes. And they did finally put out this statement this morning on this issue. But the thing about it is, like I said, we in IT build for redundancy. I work on it as my day job, and we do that for these kind of reasons right here. If a disaster hits one of the data centers, that way we're not down for days. We just fail everything over to another data center, and we're ready to go. If this is denial of service and something else, then there are services out there for that, right? There are proxies to proxy our traffic, so that we don't have the denial of service attacks fail. Within minutes we're back up and running. So, like I said, I do appreciate the message they put out. The problem is this really should have been out here in the morning, so when first thing you log in, you see this and you know what's going on. The problem is this came out 9 hours after this event started, which, like I said, this started for WoW. Started for them at midnight, because I was playing when this happened. So at midnight Central Standard Time, this outage happened. Okay. And it has been down since then. And again, this curve does not mean that things were online. I had, like I said, I literally had somebody tell me, well, there's 300 players on there. Well, that's not a lot for NA. There should be thousands. That's kind of crazy. But this is people going to sleep and going, okay, well, I'm going to come in, start it in the morning and see if anything's there. And then you started getting people on the East Coast, you know, kind of getting out there and logging in. Then you had some Central. Then you had maybe some Mountain and starting to get Pacific. So, yeah, there it is. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and I am connected to my Discord. So if you guys want to chat, want to talk about it, I have my Discord open for you guys, so you can not only be heard on the stream, but also you can talk to me and tell me what you think. And my Discord's links are in my feed. So you're definitely, kick on there. Like I said, I'd love to hear. Right now, I'm the only one kind of talking. Yes, the Chick was on here and Ironclad kind of giving their thoughts on it. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And again, I don't remember an outage ever lasting this long. This is definitely, I think, an outage that has lasted longer than any of the ones that I can remember for a while. And again, this is all on the back of COTS. So King of the Sea, that's supposed to start on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. So that's when it starts. So there has to be time before that. And this is kind of ominous given that is right around the corner. The qualifiers for the COTS tournament are right around the corner. I can say that if I was Wargaming, I would be nervous right now. I would really seriously be nervous. This does not bode well at all. And as you see, that the NA is full of teams that have signed up. In fact, so here is 07. You know, right now one of the Super Unicum teams. You can see who's playing in that. BFK. BFK's playing. You know, I saw Pizza on there, but I don't see Pizza in here, so it's kind of strange. But, you know, here's 007. And their team. Which coincidentally, you know, I'm in NGA, so I'm playing with NGA. And ours is actually Navy Gaming America. We're playing our first game against No Cap. So very, very, very. These are a really good team. They are Hurricane 1. I think basically we kind of got into Typhoon 2, but ended up settling in High Storm. Yeah. Wow. So, but all of this on the back of all of this going on. And I thought it was kind of weird yesterday when I was playing that all of a sudden. Uh, so we are playing in training rounds, doing some scrims for COTS, and when that happened, I was playing some randoms, and all of a sudden, and sometimes it's happened to me. I don't know what's happened ever since I kind of had to, my hard drive kind of melted on me, and I had to reinstall the game. What occurred was I get to the title screen and it just sits there, right, and it doesn't actually go into the game where you're playing. And sometimes what I have to end up doing is just killing the game and then relaunching, and then I could get back in, and that didn't happen. It immediately kind of just sat there and spun and act like everything was fine, and then it just kicked me back to login, which lends to what they're saying about their web portal. So I guess their portal is what does the authentication and make sure you got a sub, all the fun stuff right there. But it was down hard, and then I looked and none of the content loaded. So none of this loaded up at all. It was just sitting there unable to connect. So yeah. So hopefully maybe we'll have some kind of answer from these guys soon on when all this is going to be up. They're saying in a few hours. A few hours could mean a lot. That could mean 2 hours. Could mean 4 hours. Could mean 4 to 5 hours. So, I'm gonna read this and just give this in my thoughts on it from a IT perspective. So what they're saying, okay, so at this moment, the NA web portal and server are not available due to serious technical issues. Let me break that statement down for you right there. When a statement comes out with serious technical, when they emphasize just instead of technical issues, serious technical issues, there's something majorly wrong. Okay, I mean, this is not, hey, a server's down, or hey, a circuit's cut, or hey, no, this is something like disastrous has happened. We are working to fix the promise right now in several hours, which is saying several. So my thoughts are several hours means we're talking 4 hours or more. Okay, we're not talking just a couple hours and you're back up. We are working to bring the game's most important services back online. So they're having to prioritize what they bring back online. So we're talking about servers being trashed. Okay, we're talking about serious problems. This is something that they're having to rebuild things. Okay, this is not they're trying to restore power and they're trying to restore servers. They're trying to bring things back online, and they're having to prioritize that. Okay, so some game services, news, clan, armory, premium store, etc., may not work, and we need additional time. So what they're saying is, we're going to work on bringing everything else back up, but what we're prioritizing is bringing game servers online so people can go in. Now, that does not mean that everything is going to work. We are restoring basic functionality is basically what they're saying here. Apologize for inconvenience. Thank you for understanding. According to preliminary estimates, a full restore will take 1 day. So they're basically setting the expectation right there for you guys that to get everything else back up, we're talking about a day from this. Now we're not talking about when this started, right? We're talking about from when they responded to this. So we're talking about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. 9 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for this to be back up. fully. Now, we'll probably get in game before that time. Okay, so let me be clear about that. But what this means from this is we're going to be down without game, without being able to get into this for 3 to 4 hours. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You can bet on it. Just to restore, just the words that I saw in there, being serious, restoring, certain services not being back online, they're prioritizing. That right there is telling me that they're having to prioritize what gets online. They're having to restore servers from backup to whatever it is. Now, again, this goes back to what I started to say in my stream is why don't they? Where's the redundancy? Where's the other data center in NA? Where's the other data centers and other things? Because, like I said, it's you generally want to have data centers in geographically diverse locations. Okay. You know, and Tanks I know has that, right? Because they have U.S. Central, they have Eastern, there's other data centers, right? So where's the redundancy? And if there is redundancy, then is their portal only tied to one data center? I don't know. That's the question. That really is the question of the hour. Oh, yeah, here we got it, guys. Here we go. So this just came out from the Tank side. We are currently experiencing a power outage in one of our data centers, causing game services to go offline. Our team has been working to bring services in the backup data center. So they do have a backup data center. There's our answer right there, guys. There is our answer. Backup data center. Well, okay, when they say backup data center, there's a lot of things that could be inferred there. My guess is that it is not a hot data center. Okay, so if you work in IT, I know that term can maybe go over some people's heads, but there are different levels, right? What they call a cold data center is basically a cold data center means they bring equipment in, and within a days they bring things back online, right? They're basically forklifting equipment into that data center and bringing things back online. Warm data center is they've got servers there already, but they may not have the capacity to restore everything, okay? And usually there's a target of at least 24 hours to respond, to have everything back online in the new data center, okay? That's a warm data center. And my guess is that's what we're dealing with right here, okay? That they have a warm data center that they have some equipment in, but they don't have enough capacity to fail everything over into it. The last thing is a hot data center. And with a hot data center, it's a full DR. Within minutes, they can fail over traffic, they can fail over servers and everything to that data center, and within minutes, they're back up and running. Which, coincidentally, with Tanks, you guys remember they shut down Central and they were patching and doing whatever they needed to do. And then in Eastern, they had everything running on Eastern. I don't know what happened here and why it's down globally when they obviously had it, unless there was something major. And again, we will probably won't know that, right? Maybe this was a huge power outage. Something hit it, something surged, something fried it. But again, where is the failover, right? Those the web authentication servers should have been in another data center. So, is that a capacity problem? Do they have the data center? They just don't have the capacity? I don't know. Well, like I said, but I'm glad they put this out. Let me be clear about that. I am glad they put this out. But again, this should have been out early this morning, waiting for people when they got in. Because we are now 10 hours into this. 10 hours into this, talking about, this issue, this outage. And again, with cots right around the corner. So let's see what we got here as far as some of the reports have tapered off because I think people have just figured out, and usually that happens when people figure out that, hey, things are down. They'll pop a few reports out and then, yeah. So here they put it out 33 minutes ago that they are right now is restoring the game to all players in NA. And of course, the natural thing is because they're doing that because this is not just one game that's affected. This is multiple. So this is a black eye for them right now. Right now, Pro is restoring the game to all players in NA. After that, we'll explore compensation options for those affected. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I mean, you're talking about if this is spanning all their games, right? You're talking about multiple games in NA, and probably consoles affected too. Let's be honest about that. Consoles probably affected too. So it means that PS5, PS4, Xbox, all those guys are down too. So you have the PC side of this with their other games, with World of Warplanes, Steel Division, all of those. They're probably down too. So that is a massive amount of players. Massive amount of players that you've got to now appease. I don't envy their task. I really do not. And trust me, I know it seems like I'm bashing them. I'm not. What I am just don't understand is, and again, it's armchair quarterbacking, right? And trust me, I understand where that goes. But the thing about it is, they should have, especially with this much visibility, they need hot data centers. They need to be able to fill this over quickly. Okay? Having a couple hours, you know what? Things happen. And people don't get, some people will just get upset no matter what. If it's down for 30 minutes, right? Or it's down for whatever. They're going to get upset. But there's no reason why within a couple hours they couldn't have this back up in another data center. So again, I don't know the specifics on that, but my guess is that they had this as a warm data center. It just based on the statements that I've seen, it makes sense. So it's a waiting game now, guys. This is literally a waiting game. And I think as we get further into this, they're going to start peeling back the layers, and we'll probably have some understanding of maybe some of the circumstances that led up to this. But again, the full picture is going to be obscured. I don't think we're ever going to find out that they're not going to say, well, this is exactly what happened and all that, because a lot of companies don't like to admit those mistakes because they think it makes them look bad. And honestly, I think it's the opposite. I think the transparency helps them because, hey, we didn't expect this. Things happen, and trust me, I get that. And working in IT long enough, I know things happen. Things get missed too, and let's be honest. Because the trend for the last few years in IT in general has been trending to do more with less people, right? Every company is heading that way. It has always been heading that way, and I can tell you that in my job, I deal with that constantly. Is constantly a thing where I could work 60 hours. I could work 60 hours a week and never catch up. I have so much on me right now as far as what I have in projects, dumpster fires, issues, as it were, and other things that, I mean, I could literally spend a 60-hour week in a day and not really make a dent in my honeydew list. So unfortunately, things get prioritized, right? Unfortunately, things get prioritized. So trust me, I understand their plight. I really do. The difference is my work is not as exposed as they are. I know they have millions of people that subscribe to their services, that buy things, that dump a lot of money into this. And I realize they have costs, data center costs, they have facilities, servers, power, HVAC. There's a lot that goes into a modern data center. It's not as big as it used to be. Let's be honest. There's a lot of technologies like hyperconverged technology, which, before in data centers, a lot of people, each individual server was a piece of hardware, right? Now with virtual, with hypervisor, that kind of changed. The landscape changed. You were able to squeeze more resources out of a single piece of hardware or multiple pieces of hardware. And now with hyperconverged or HCI, hyperconverged infrastructure, now your compute, all of your VMs, your storage, all that stuff is in a single head unit. Nutanix is famous for this stuff, for hyperconverged infrastructure. So is VMware. So your power requirements and all that are getting smaller, right? Because you can do more in a single rack or two racks than you used to be able to do in 10 years ago with 7 or 8 racks of servers. And it's just the way things have gone. So your costs are down. Okay, so the problem is that a lot of companies, as they saw these shrinking things, they thought it didn't take as much to maintain those. So they cut back on IT staff. So as the data center has shrunk, so has the IT staff. But the problem is they see that shrinking and think they don't need as many people. Well, that's not really the case, because you're still dealing with the same amount of servers. You're just in a smaller footprint in the data center. And that's the reason that a lot of IT people are way overworked, way overstressed, because they have taken this and changed they think, well, hey, we've only got 50 of these hypervisor head units, and you know what? We don't need as many people. Wrong. Within those 50 hypervisors, we may be talking about thousands of servers. You still got to patch them. You still got to update the hypervisors. You still got to maintain the storage. You still got to maintain the networking. So that also changed with cloud, right? So cloud became another thing. A lot of companies have pushed that. A lot of companies push their servers in the cloud. Well, they think, okay, well, it's in the cloud. I don't have to manage it. Wrong. I mean, just because you're in the cloud doesn't mean that you have to, you don't have to manage it. You do. You do have to manage it. It comes with the territory. So, and this also led to a lot of companies. So after they got in the cloud, they got that first bill. And some of them got sticker shock. Okay, that led to a lot of cloud recoil. They pulling things out of the cloud because they were looking at. I mean, some companies just forklifted their entire data centers into it, and they got that first bill that was $1 million for a month. A month, people. Let me put that in perspective. I'm not talking about $1 million in a year. I'm talking about $1 million in a month. If you're spending that kind of money, wow, Jesus, you can pretty much. And there's data. I mean, you could run multiple data centers all across the country and spend a tenth. No, let me back that up. 100th less than that. Wow. If you are spending that kind of money, wow. So imagine getting that bill, right? You know, we here in Texas we had that whole winter apocalypse thing that happened. You know, the snow and the ice and the freezing temperatures for days and days and days, and I'm still cleaning up that mess, by the way. But some people got on with these energy providers that are wholesale, and the problem with those wholesale providers is you're not guaranteed to lock in a rate. You don't have a guaranteed rate because we're deregulated here in Texas, so you're not guaranteed to have that rate. So the problem with wholesalers is when it's cheap, it's really cheap. Problem is when it's really expensive, it's really expensive. Thousands of dollars for an energy bill. Okay, and let's just say we didn't have power all the time, right? I mean, it got down in the 40s and 50s in my house. That's cold. That's cold, guys. I mean, when I'm wearing coveralls and I'm wearing coats and stuff to stay warm. That's how bad it was. So, you know, that's the core of this issue is the costs of IT. The costs of the data center have gotten less. So naturally, you would say, you know, and some companies, you know, some companies have been really good about, you know, maintaining their IT equipment and all that and spending budget on that. And I will say others don't spend anything. I mean, they've got servers that are ancient, right? Because they don't want to spend the capital on it. And it happens, especially with backups. That's another one. That's the redheaded stepchild of IT. It always has been. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change anytime soon. So, as we talk about this, and we talk about this more and more, you know, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Where's your head at on this? Because, like I said, I look at this from an IT perspective. I do that because, well, I'm an IT guy. I understand this stuff. I know I deal with this all the time. But I always like to hear other people's perspectives that are not in IT. Where is their head at on it? What do they think? So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Because, like I said, it always gives me perspective, right? Because my thought is, you know, I can sit here and tell you all about this stuff, but at the same time, I always like to make sure, I always like to get somebody else's perspective because it helps me understand where somebody else is coming from. And two is get somebody else's perspective on something differently because they may see this completely differently than I do. And I think that's valuable. It gives you it gives you a good anchor point for not only your ideas, but maybe your ideas are wrong. Maybe you need to think about them. And I thought about that, you know, and that's why that perspective is important to me because, like I said, I'm not infallible. Things happen, and so me saying that it gives me a good grounding point, and maybe my ideas may need modifying. Maybe I didn't think about this on another level, or maybe I didn't think about this on another perspective, and I think that's important. And I think about that too with wargaming, right? So, trust me, I'm not bashing on them. But I like to hear what everybody else's perspective is because, like I said, I mean, I think wargaming has done a lot of good things, and like any other company, they have the bad side. I mean, that's just part of it, right? You're going to have that. Um, but where I disagree is I think they could have done this differently. I think there were things they could have done to minimize their impact in this incident. Okay. Um, and like I said, I'm glad they finally put out a response because that's what they needed to do. I just think they did it a little bit late too. This would have been much better in the morning when people were logging on. So, it's very, very, very interesting. So guys, if you have not, again, I want to go into this. Please hop over. Please support Ironclad Templar. He's got a charity stream that he's running, and I think it's a great thing if you can get over there. Like I said, he's supporting a great cause. Go over there, support that charity, support his stream. It's definitely worth it. You should definitely do that if you have not. So, oh, all right. Well, we're already an hour and a half into this, guys. We are now almost 10 and a half hours into this issue. Hopefully, maybe, like I said, I would say, guys, that most likely, I would say if you're noon Central or 1 p.m. Eastern, or 10 a.m. Pacific, that maybe you check back then. Things should be at least maybe improving. Maybe they're getting some servers online by then. And I'm going to go check out, see if the NA's website, if Wargaming's website is actually online, because I'm kind of curious at this point if it is. So let's head over there. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. So this is a typical maintenance. Well, I'm not saying this maintenance is going on, and that's not. This is a down. When the website doesn't have anything else, it kind of runs home to mama, back to the maintenance. So it happens. Wow. So they are down, and they are down hard. Jeez. So, yeah. Let's see where we are on the down detector. Let's just do a refresh here. Yeah, so I think we've kind of hit that peak now as far as people reporting things that pretty much most people are going to figure out pretty quickly what's going on. And now that they've got these messages on there, you're not going to have people running the down detector and reporting stuff anymore. It's usually, like I said, tools like down detector are really great for, hey, is it down? I can't get in. And then other people will come in there and they're like, oh, I can't get in either. Oh, okay. So now we've kind of hit that curve where Wargaming has put out something official. They've got it out on the social media. They've got it on their clients. So now we're going to see that kind of taper off. If it doesn't just drop entirely. I don't think it'll drop entirely, but you're going to see at least it taper down off on the reporting. You may have some people just do it just to keep that going so that, it's trend analysis kind of thing. So, yeah. I think what we're going to see, I think what we're going to see moving forward on some of this stuff. Um, I think honestly, if this isn't a wake up call for Wargaming, I would be very shocked. I'd be very disappointed too. My guess is that they're going to close some of these loopholes. They're going to, because like I said, in recorded thing, I don't think we ever had a 10-hour outage like this, and especially an outage spanning multiple games. So I would be probably willing to bet that um, by the end of this, um, we are going to have some. They're going to have some actions and some things that they're going to change, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that is a good thing. Um, so, yeah. All right. Well, let's see if they've updated anything out there on their. Yeah, so still about an hour ago. Interesting. So let's flip over. We're gonna flip this over uh, to their tanks Twitter. And yes, so they've now posted that 7 hours. So they had this. Well, it's funny. Wow. So 7 hours ago, they were aware of this problem that was out there, and they put that out. So let me look at Warshups. Let's see here. 8 hours ago, power outage. So 8 hours ago. So the 2 hours after this occurred, they put out something on social media. But the problem was, let me ask you guys: do you guys follow their social media all the time? Were you guys aware of this? Because I wasn't. I wasn't. But at least they did get it out there. I give them credit for that. They did get that out there within that amount of time. I mean, they at least had something within that 7 or 8 hours. They were letting people know, hey, we got a problem. So let's head over to the main Wargaming site. So, yeah, nothing here. Nothing here. Interesting. Interesting. So we'll go to World Tanks EU, and they're fine. They're all good. So, wow. Yeah, like I said, I would love to hear what any of you guys have to say, what you guys think. Um, and hopefully, I'm not buffering too bad. I am trying to do this across both platforms. Yeah, it seems it says I'm having minor issues with my stream. So, by the way, guys, one of the lovely things I love about, you know what? I'll show you guys here. Let me just. I have a really crappy internet connection. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I really have a crappy internet connection. Um, it's AT&T. It's the only thing I have in my area, unfortunately, and it's 25 megabits download with 1.5 megabytes upload. So I am not surprised, to be honest. I really. And the funny thing is, I've got fiber, literally miles away from my house, and I can't get anything over DSL. Spectrum's not in my area, and there's several other providers around here, but Spectrum, I'd like to get Spectrum again. I had them for a long time. They're really good. Some people kind of iffy about them, but somebody decided to call me from a spam number. Alrighty. So we'll just go into QoS here, and we'll skip the tour. I don't care about that. And the really nice thing is here, I can just go into the allocation for upload and just peek that up a little bit more. Okay, and then update the distribution. I will say I really love this router. It is the latest one with Wi-Fi 6 from Netgear. It's a really great router. I have not been disappointed with it. Unfortunately I have been disappointed by other Netgear routers. But this one is really great. So right now I'm just kind of pushing up my prioritization on the upload on this. So maybe this will straighten out some of the problems here. I mean, I've gotten some drop frames in here and whatnot, so maybe that'll clear up some of the problems. So hopefully you guys aren't getting slammed by that. If you are, I apologize. I'm sorry. But it is what it is. I unfortunately I do not have anything other than that. Well, hopefully I'll have something soon. I put myself on the list for that Starlink. So Starlink, that lovely satellite internet service from Elon Musk. So it's supposed to be in my area in basically mid to late this year. So hopefully maybe mid. That'd be great. I'd love to get on there for the mid. I've had I've heard some really good things about it, and I've heard some really bad things about it. And I think as more people get on there, it probably get saturated, but we'll see. At this point, though, anything's a step up from what I currently have. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. I have to admit. Anything is a step up. Because I would love to have fiber. That'd be great. That way I could just upload. And of course, they put me a data. They for the longest time they didn't have data caps, and then now they got data caps. So a terabyte. And man, I'll be honest with you, that isn't. If you're a gamer, if you're a serious gamer, you do anything online, you stream whatever. We stream a lot. We stream to TVs in my household, so we have a lot of devices. You're gonna burn through that data cap in no time, and they know it. They absolutely know it. So it's kind of a little bit insane. But no, I wanted to get the fiber or get the gig internet, so that because they do have no data caps there, at least not for now anyway. But get that so that I could I could stream in higher quality than I currently have to that I currently am. I'm having to down rev my stream a lot because of internet issues. So anyway, guys, I think this is it. I'm done. I've really said all that I probably wanted to say and all that I could say on this. So what I think I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to find somebody to raid. And I think we're going to give this over to our buddy Ironclad. He is, like I said, is a really great guy. And because he's supporting that stream, I think it's worth your time to head over there. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a really great day. We're going to go ahead and set the raid for Ironclad. Alright, so here we go, guys. We'll flip this over and raid him. Alright, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed and talk to you later.